My name is Renaldo Hudson. I work for the Illinois Prison Project. I am the Director of Education. I spent 37 years in prison, 7 years in the county jail, 13 years on Illinois death row, and 17 years with life without the possibility of parole until I received clemency in 2020, September the 2nd. The Illinois Prison Project is actually helping us to change the narrative with respect to what criminal justice reform should look like. And so the Illinois Prison Project actually does campaigns with respect to trying to share the amazing stories of people that are just stuck in perpetual punishment and mass incarceration. We have the Veteran Campaign, the Three Strikes Campaign, the Women Survivors Campaign, and seeking the different mechanisms that exist that helps to make our system work in a way it has never worked before. My job, really, I have the dream job. I get to head the Department of Education, in which we actually go out and speak to the public. And so we get to go and share our stories in a way, hopefully, that help people to see the human aspect that oftentimes get lost in the midst of the politics of the criminal legal system. People are not their offense. We are people who may have offended, but I am not my offense. I'm responsible for the offense. I'm a person that at the age of 19, when I was arrested, I couldn't read or write. And the public school had failed me. I did not have family that supported me, right? Our system is set up in an adversarial way in which acknowledging the humanity of people does not minimize the offense in a way that says to the victim, we understand you're hurt, but we're also saying to the person charged with the offense, we want to see you get better and be a productive member in our society. And I don't think it contradicts each other to acknowledge the crime, acknowledge the pain of the victim, but also to acknowledge the humanity of the person that is called the perpetrator. And I'm saying that I'm not the perpetrator, I'm the person responsible. And I think being defined by the negative term gives too much weight to the offense in a way that doesn't say, can I be better? Can I be better than the offense that occurred? And I think we're showing that we can. In the Department of Corrections, and my numbers may be a little off, 57% of the population are functioning illiterates. And so one of the things that we did, and I was a part of, is beginning to figure out how can we help each other be better and not rely on the system. Because to be honest, I think the system is so written and so broken, it's like being in a sewage. You know, it has to be flushed. I don't think it can be repaired. I just don't. There are so many people whose stories were just not told. And there's some extremely gifted people that are incarcerated. And so the system would not allow me to go to school because of my sentence. And so there were people around me, my peers that were incarcerated, who began to tutor me. You know, I made the request, imagine this, I made the request to be put in school, and the deputy director told me, hey, Renaldo, we're going to execute you. Why would we waste the time to educate you? And it only made me more committed to being better. And so I started going to the yard with my peers who were also condemned people, but they began to help me learn how to read. We formed programs within the Department of Correction that we had the autonomy of running, and we were having success. One of those programs is a program I personally created called the Building Block, right? And this was a program where the incarcerated population not only were educating each other, we were also making it safe for staff when they weren't making it safe for themselves. Once I began to be educated, I began to reach out to people. I began to reach out while incarcerated to different organizations. And so I actually was able to develop what I refer to as my very eclectic group of supporters. And people began to recognize that there was something in me worth investing in. I received clemency on September the 2nd, 2020. I guess the best thing I can say is I'm free. Because I do believe in first chances, I think it's important that people know that beauty can come from ashes, and too often we're just written off. And I want to make sure people recognize, like, if you really believe in the American dream, then how could you shed the lights out on people that's trying to dream? It's so easy to write off people you don't know. And I'm a believer in meeting people before you try to teach people. And what I've discovered is that we have so much in common. People try to say offender, inmate, and forget person. A person who is incarcerated versus a person who may never have been incarcerated, but we have many of the same struggles and many of the same dreams. And so we have more in common than not. And I want to make sure that people understand that. I want people to be safe, right? I want people to be secure. I want to have, I want to go to concerts. I want to go to see movies, right? I want to go to the beach. I want to do all those things that people do every day. To me, public safety is properly educated people. Properly educated people can do productive things. Justice is giving people the first chance. Justice is giving people the opportunity to act upon being free. People need so much help after so much trauma. And as our system exists, I'm amazed at people being opposed to the drip of justice that's seeping out of the governor's office. Because it's seeping out. It's not a waterfall. It's not a fountain. It's drips, and I'm one among thousands of men and women that still deserve their first chance, and they may not get it. For example, for clemency to be granted, doesn't say that we don't believe in people should be held responsible. They work hand in hand. People have to understand that there's also hope on the other side of bad decisions. How about we sit down and recognize that this is our state and that we need to start to push what restorative justice really looks like. And we have to start the conversations between those that have been hurt and those that are hurt, from victims to victimizers. I was a victim that became a victimizer because there was no interruption, there was no interceding on my behalf when I needed that opportunity. Majority of people that come out of prison don't reoffend. No one has been rehabilitated because we have not to be habilitated yet. So how am I going to be rehabilitated? People need to have a chance to be the best them. And I think that's the issue for me, is to push for the first chance for people to be the best them. All of us, we're so much more than our worst act. We take one moment of a person's life and then we just beat them with that. And when I try to be better, you beat me back over the head with what happened so many years ago. I'm so much more than that. I'm the person clearly responsible for the act I committed. I take full responsibility. I wish I would have been a better person. But I know that I'm so much better than that act today. I'm one of thousands of people that can be very productive members of society, but they haven't been given a chance. And I want to make sure everyone get a chance to be the best possible them and to be and serve, protect and serve the community. And there's so many more of my peers who wants to do the same thing and are doing this work. Can you imagine? Those of us that are considered the worst, as they say, are the front line of the change that we're trying to see. I love the fact that I get to walk in rooms and say, hello, my name is Renaldo Hudson. I'm the director of the Illinois Prison Project, right? Because now I'm reshaping, right, and washing the dirt of yesterday and the shame of being called everything but the best possible me. So I know I'm so much more than what I did 37 years ago. I'm the person who has the potential of inspiring someone, and I love that. I love that I can be an inspiration after so much pain, because I'm so much more than that pain. And we are more. I think about my peers. I think about the ambassadors. I think about the men and women who have come home. We are more than those crimes and those acts that placed us in the hands of a system that is not just. We are so much more. People have no idea that I'm an artist. I am an artist. In fact, my art is on display at the Logan Center now. I developed that skill set while incarcerated, and I realized that art is a tool. And so to be really frank, I use my art to share stories that normally won't be told. The narrative that is being put out there isn't right. And I'm going to be courageous enough to say, there are people that need to have their first chance, and I'm going to give it to them.